Well, there's an old song, I guess it's old if you're like me, that says, if there's one thing you can count on, things are going to change. And that's exactly what's happening on our Friday episode of Tatooine Sons, a pop culture podcast. I'll explain in just a minute.
It's true. All of it.
What is the name of the porg on the Millennium Falcon?
Force is strong in my family.
What do you think his name is? It's a big moment.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Maybe Turbis?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Turbis? Pablo, if you're listening to this live stream, that porg's name is now Turbis. It's a good Star Wars name.
We're not done yet.
These guys recorded an awesome podcast called Tatooine Sons. Everybody listen to it.
Well, welcome to this unusual and very unexpected episode of Tatooine Sons, a pop culture podcast. We are the only fan podcast to name a canon Star Wars creature and to be endorsed by Rian Johnson, as you just heard. We believe that pop culture is the mythology of this generation, that there is a story. It is written on our souls, and that these myths speak to that story. And sometimes the real world becomes much more important than our fan world. And that is exactly what is happening and has impacted this week's normal Friday episode of Tatooine Sons of Pop Culture podcast. I'm David. I am one of the hosts. I am not joined today by Samuel the Hutt or BB Nate. I'm recording this early in the morning on Friday and getting this out to you guys because the rest of this day and the rest of this weekend will be taken up with something so much more important than a pop culture podcast. As much as we love you guys and we love doing this, things have shifted, and that is because my mother, Samuel and Nathan's grandmother, is being taken into kind of in an unexpected situation. She's being taken into urgent heart surgery in just a couple of hours. And she'll be in surgery for most of the day. They're going to be doing some heart bypass work and potentially some valve replacements. And then she'll be in intensive care for the rest of the weekend and in the hospital for about a week. And all of that has impacted the recording schedule. So normally we would do our recording sometimes Friday afternoon and get this episode out Friday evening. And you guys would be able to listen to it all weekend long. And that's our standard process. But because of this surgery and everything that's going on, we are not doing it that way this week. Fortunately, we have in the can an interview that I have been excited to bring to you guys since we recorded it a couple of weeks ago. And I felt like I could take a little bit of time this morning to throw it into a podcast episode and get that out. So we would have a release today and you guys could meet the gentleman over at an amazing fan organization and podcast and LLC nonprofit called BlerdOver. BlerdOver is a safe place for Black nerds and people of color in the pop culture fan nerd community. And they work to help those that feel like they're on the fringes of the nerd community and the pop culture community and the Comic-Con community, that they haven't had a safe place to be a part of this group, this world, because of, racial, challenge, just the craziness that we have in our world when it comes to racial issues and things. And so we met these guys at Alabama Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago, spent some time talking with them, absolutely fell in love with their organization and with who they are. And so while we were there, we asked them to hop on the mic with us and spend a few minutes talking about their fan experience and what their organization is all about, and then just pop culture and Star Wars primarily, and what it meant to them, and how it's impacted them. And so I am really excited to bring this episode to you. In the meantime, if you guys would please be willing to say a prayer for my mom and my family as we're going through this the next week or so, we would really appreciate that. It would mean a lot. But here they are. Here are the guys over at BlerdOver.
Hello, what have we here?
Achuta, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Disney, Star Trek, and even sports fans, we've got a big surprise for you.
That's right, Samuel the Hutt. Tatooine Sons is proud to announce that our show is now sponsored by Cufflinks.com.
Yeah, Cufflinks.com is a family-run business owned by three brothers who are huge Star Wars fans.
But they have so many other brands too, including Disney, Marvel, DC, NFL, college football, Roll Tide, along with classics like Jan Leslie, A Dachshund Bull.
Now, as hard as it is to believe, Christmas is just around the corner. So thanks to Cufflinks.com, we just made shopping for the sharp-dressed Star Wars fan in your life so much easier.
They have over 3,000 items on the website, covering not just cufflinks, but ties, tie bars, socks, money clips, and other great gifts.
And we're saving you money. Just use the code Tatooine15 at checkout to receive 15% off everything on the site with no minimum order required.
It's such a great deal.
Yeah.
So head on over to Cufflinks.com today. And remember, use that code Tatooine15 at checkout.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Well, welcome, Star Wars fans. How's it going, BB Nate?
It's going good, yeah.
We're missing Samuel the Hutt today.
We are.
That's okay. He's talking to his best friend Tristan. He hasn't talked to him in like 8 weeks. He's been in
a long
boot camp. But we've got some special guests. I am super excited to have these guys on here. They're from BlerdOver, which is an amazing podcast and fan organization, but it's got a really unique element to it. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about BlerdOver?
Hey, my name is Static Jones.
Yeah, we'll go with.
All right. They want me to do my catchphrase.
Okay, do your catchphrase. Let's do it.
So go ahead.
Do it.
You got to do.
Go ahead. Step into the mic, though.
What's up, everybody? It's Static Jones, baby!
I love it. All right. That's awesome. All right.
Baby boys, baby girls, what's going on? It's your boy SKIP.88, the founder and creator of BlerdOver LLC.
You got to tell us all about it.
So BlerdOver basically was started. It's a nonprofit organization that is based off to support the black excellence inside the nerd community. We support African Americans and POC, people of color, in the nerd community. For the reason it was made is for catching all the hate of racism inside the nerd community. You have certain people who will cosplay certain characters, and they will go on saying, you can't cosplay that character because that cosplay, that character is not black. That cosplay character does not have dark skin.
Wow. So how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been doing this going on for 2 years now. 2 years.
2 years. And so you got a podcast, and what are some of the other things that you guys do? I mean, you were telling me earlier about a bunch of different fundraisers and things like that. Tell us all about it.
Podcast. We interview people. We do podcasts. Recently, we have done a back-to-school drive. We have supported 5 African-American kids. School supplies going back to school this year because due to the COVID. We did a Christmas toy drive for 5 families as well because due to COVID. And we did a tornado disaster relief for the victims here in Alabama. And we are working up a breast cancer awareness gaming tournament where we're going to raise money and the proceeds will go to the Breast Cancer Awareness Society. And the game we will be playing in the tournament is Tekken Tournament.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
So Static, we got a conversation earlier on your guys' show a little bit about Star Wars, and I got the feeling that you're kind of into Star Wars, but it's not as big of a thing as it is for us. Am I right on that?
Actually, I'm a pretty good fan of it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let me ask you, Static, what's your favorite Star Wars movie and why?
I would have to say it would have to be Attack the Clone Wars.
Oh, nice. The whole series, the animated series on that. Is that because of Ahsoka? Because we had a conversation about Ahsoka. Is she your girl, or what's it about?
She's my favorite female character. Yes.
That's awesome. Who's your favorite male character?
My favorite male character is Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you're pumped about the Kenobi series coming out?
Yes, I am.
All right. And what's your like nickname that you call yourself? I heard it.
Skip.88.
Skip.88. All right. There we go. I got it now. You're not as much into Star. I mean, you are, but not as much as me, right?
Not as much as, but like the original and the prequels, but the new one, yeah.
Well, we talked about that, so you people can hear my opinion. On that. Yeah. Why didn't you like the sequel trilogy as much?
See, it kind of like the story. It threw me off a little bit. It threw me off from the original to the prequels and to the new one. It like, okay, so we just what just happened, and it just threw me off. But not saying, but like I kind of got back on it track for like from the last one, and kind of like, okay, now it started making sense. I started reading, getting the detail too. It's like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I understand.
Go for it, Static.
I kind of felt lied to with the Finn character.
Oh yeah.
I agree. Because back when the Force Awakens came out, they were showing all these posters with Finn like being a badass with this lightsaber, and it was heading in that direction. But then the next movie come out, it was far from that direction.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? Why is Finn acting like a coward? You know?
Yeah,
because we thought he was going to be like a Jedi,
right? Well, and that's the way that they kind of it was the classic, J.J. Abrams bait and switch in the Force Awakens. You see all the trailers, all the build up has him with the lightsaber like he's going to be a Jedi, and then we find out he's not the Jedi. He's just a bad stormtrooper that quit, and now it's Rey. And so that I can understand why you would feel that way. What did you think about some of the ways, the way the fan community has kind of reacted to John Boyega over the years through the character? Are you familiar with it at all? Is the way the Star Wars fan community has treated John?
Some of them was kind of upset because, like going back to what we represent, they feel as though it's not enough representation of us in this universe, and us seeing Finn as a first Black Jedi, everybody was excited and on board for it. But then when they saw how he was in the movie, it's kind of like, wow, really? Y'all dropped the ball on that. So it was kind of some was with it. That was real true Star Wars fan. Then some was kind of like it could have been what we would have hoped for.
Yeah. And as the movies came out, John Boyega became the most popular actor in that whole and all of those movies. And we were rooting for Finn. We wanted him to be the hero. I mean, nothing against Rey. It's just Finn was the buildup.
Yeah, I understand. So did you like the way that they kind of turned things around a little bit and kind of gave him at least the ability to use the Force and things like that in The Rise of Skywalker, or was it a little too little too late?
I liked it. It was kind of a good way to end it, but I loved how they put it in.
There's rumors that they may be making a new trilogy or even a new series that could include like Rey and Finn and kind of him becoming a Jedi on that. How would you feel about it?
It's.
I believe because we never knew what Finn wanted to tell Rey, because he was trying to tell Rey something throughout that whole third film, and we never knew what it was. But I think he was trying to tell her that he was Force sensitive too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, that's what he was trying to tell her. In the novel, he goes into the they go into enough detail to really be clear that that's what he's going to do. So it just never came through in the movie.
Let me ask you this question:
Sure.
Do you think we need a new trilogy of Star Wars?
Well, we're always, as a Star Wars fan, we always need a new trilogy of Star Wars with it. I think that the idea of kind of going away from the Skywalker saga is an important thing for Star Wars to have to do. You can't, and that's one of the things that creates challenges with. I love the found family aspect of Rey becoming a Skywalker and feeling like she's not defined by being the descendant of Palpatine. She can now, be a part of this new family. But by calling her Rey Skywalker, it creates that if her character continues on, is it more just Skywalker stuff versus letting this story be bigger than just keeping up with the Skywalkers, like keeping up with the Kardashians or something like that? So.
But much better, and people actually pay attention to that show.
Yeah.
And then since we're on the subject of Star Wars, can I ask the question of why they play the stormtroopers like they can't shoot?
All right, BB Nate, you know an answer to
we're
this.
gonna
Go for it.
we're gonna go with it. They never have like fully explained it, but one of the explanations is that it's the Force's destiny for them to miss. So
it's the God moment in Star Wars. Anytime you can't explain something, you just blame God. So if you can't explain it in the Star Wars world, you blame the Force with that. So
Yeah.
So that's really the widely accepted explanation of why they can't shoot. Also, the helmets are really small and you can't see anything out of it.
yeah,
so.
if you've ever tried to look through a stormtrooper helmet, you can understand why they can't hit anything.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's the worst thing ever. So, exactly. So tell us a little bit more about what it's like being an African American or being a person of color in this kind of the pop culture nerd community. What's it like, and what are you hoping to accomplish as you continue to build what you guys are doing?
Well, basically, it's still a struggle because you still internet trolls. They still come on and say you can't cosplay this because it's not black. Black people shouldn't be a part. You trying to take our culture. And when somebody says that, how is this your culture? But this culture is made for everybody, and you single everybody out. And it's this where we didn't want to make something separate, but then again, we just want to feel a part and just let people know that we get it. We get it both on worst end. We get it from from the white aspect and especially from our own race because for one, we are nerds. That means okay, you're a nerd. You're not black enough. So this is what white people do. So you're a nerd. So this is what white people do. So why you acting white? So it's kind of like, well, so where do we stand?
That's where we come in.
So we just trying to tell the people that it's okay to be African American. It's okay to be a person of color and to love everything about this community. It doesn't alienate you from being white or black. You just a person, human being that loves nerddom, that loves Star Wars, that loves Luke Skywalker, that loves lightsabers.
That's awesome. Very cool. What outside of we've talked a little bit of Star Wars, but our show covers Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all that Marvel stuff. You guys into that at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Big Marvel fan.
All right. Favorite Marvel movie?
The favorite Marvel movie, Iron Man. The
very first one.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier. See, you and I are on the same page with that.
But to this day, Robert Downey Jr. was born and made to be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I just feel it.
Absolutely. It's funny because Sam, who's not here right now, he's he watched Iron Man, the original, when he was a little kid. He came up to his dad, came up to me, and he was like, I'm going to put stuff in space just like that. With that, and now he's an engineering major at the University of South Alabama.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to be he's actually part of a NASA launch society that's going to be launching a rocket and stuff. So it's kind of cool. So I love Iron Man with that. I love the Winter Soldier. Now, have you watched What If?
Yes.
Did you see the finale?
Yes.
Okay, so what was it like for you to watch What If, especially with the opening being very Winter Soldier like? It was ripped right from that. What did you think about the What If series?
I think it was like. I enjoyed it, but it seemed a bit tame. They could have went all out with this show. I mean, you're telling the story of what if. There's so many stuff you could have done. Like, you could have used that as introduce the X-Men or some of the characters that didn't make it into the MCU.
Which episode was your favorite?
It would have to be T'Challa Star-Lord.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why was that? Was that one? Yeah. Okay. So Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees. Sorry,
Jason. He gonna take you back to Crystal Lake.
That's it. We got Jason and we got Michael Myers here, observing as we record this right now. What was it about the T'Challa Star-Lord episode that you loved so much?
I just to hear Chadwick Boseman's voice for the last time. This is his final performance before he passed away. So
that's awesome. So have you watched What If?
I have. I loved it from episode 1 to the finale.
Awesome.
And actually cosplayed as T'Challa Star-Lord, which I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Okay, so come by. We got to get pictures of that.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
But my favorite episode is where Hank Pym killed all the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
a good episode.
That was dark. I never would have thought. That was, what if that could have really happened?
Yeah. That's awesome. So, of all of the things coming out, okay. So, did you guys see Venom yet?
I have.
You've seen that? Okay. So, do you know about the post-credit scene?
No. Please don't tell me.
All right,
So
we're going to have multiple people here that don't know. We're going to stay quiet.
All right, Static, you and I will have a conversation about this offline.
Absolutely.
With that. Where do you think that the MCU goes now that the Endgame phenomenon is kind of finished up and they have to restart things now? We've had, Spider-Man, Far From Home?
No Way Home. No Way Home's next.
No, I'm talking about the one we already had.
Oh, the one we've already had.
Star Wars Far From Home. We've had Black Widow, which really didn't fit into the new stuff. We had Shang-Chi, which was really good. You guys like Shang-Chi?
I have not. I'll be working on it.
It shocked me. Like, I didn't think that I went into this movie thinking it was just going to be okay, but it blew me away. It
was good.
And what made it so cool is I have a TikTok and I follow some martial artists on TikTok. They just started off as just making little skits for TikTok, and Marvel found them and added them to the movies.
Oh, that's
for
amazing.
doing for doing a fight choreography.
That's amazing.
So it was just kind of cool to see these regular TikTokers who just did choreographed videos for fun, just to bring it to a big scale like that. I felt so happy for them.
It's so cool to see fans get to be engaged in the making of the things that they love. That happened in The Mandalorian, where they had to shoot one of the big finale of season 1, where there's all the stormtroopers that come. They realized that they didn't have enough stormtroopers as actors for that shoot the next day, so they called the 501st Legion, which is the cosplay fan group and charity group, and they called them and said, "Put out a call. They've got better costumes than the actual actors do." They said, "Come on out, and we can't tell you what it's about, but come on out." And they got to be like in the Mandalorian season finale as stormtroopers. Awesome. So it's very similar to what you're describing on that. Where do you think the MCU goes though now? I mean, now that we've kind of have to restart things.
Well, and coming from Marvel and watching the TV series from WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and how they playing with timelines. We seen it in the in WandaVision, where Scarlet Witch became Scarlet Witch.
Absolutely.
And she's reading the book that was actually taken out from Doctor Strange's library, which people don't realize that. And then we get Loki, where we see He Who Remains, which becomes Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
And he's the whole conspirator about what took place from Iron Man to Infinity War and Endgames. He would say, basically, so you was behind that? He's like, pretty much, yeah. So, but if you kill me, I'm not responsible what comes next.
Right.
And it's a lot of playing on the timeline now. Yeah. So once that happened, it's kind of like, it's possible, like the people that we saw die in Endgame, it's possibility they may come back. Since the timeline is kind of expanded now.
That's awesome. What about you? What do you think? Where does the MCU go from here?
I'm excited because now they have full control over the Fantastic Four and X-Men. I can't wait to see what factor they're going to play in this. And plus, they still teasing Galactus.
Yeah.
So what role is Galactus going to play in this?
That is true.
And after recent events, which we'll leave it at that, everything is on the table now in the MCU. So that's going to be exciting. All right, here's a question that we always end every interview with.
Okay.
Again, you guys know we're big Star Wars fans, and you guys are too. So you guys are going to be able to help us answer this question and get your perspective on it. For you, how does Star Wars inspire hope?
Oh man, it's trying to begin from I take the aspect of it to answer this. Han Solo, a thief, if you will, steals from the poor and gives to himself. But come to find out what he was doing, helping to rebuild the Republic. He kind of had to change her heart, and he became a good person. So from that, you can always redeem yourself. No matter how bad you messed up, there's always a way for you to turn yourself around to make yourself a better person.
That's awesome. What about you? How does Star Wars inspire hope?
Obi-Wan was like a big inspiration for me because in my teen years, I was in a very dark place. And that's how I got introduced. Well, I was always introduced to Star Wars, but when I really sat down and watched the prequels, Obi-Wan Obi-Wan just spoke to me.
Okay.
I don't know how, I can't really explain it, but Obi-Wan was that character that really spoke to me the most out of every Star Wars character. And it just made me more chill and more relaxed.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you're pretty excited about Kenobi coming out next year.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. All right, tell everybody about your show and give us all your handles and everything else.
Okay. Baby boys, baby girls, it's your boy, it's KIP.88 here at BlerdOver, here on the Tatooine Sons podcast. Awesome podcast. I love these mics, too. They're so shiny. But you can catch us on all social platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Game Stream, on Twitch. If you type in BlerdOver, we will pop up. We do podcasts. Our podcasts will be they are pre-recorded and they'll be posted on that following Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And also, just look out for us. More great things coming. And thank you for having us on this great podcast.
Yeah, it's been an honor to have you guys on. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for what you're doing in the fan community.
I appreciate
need your voice as part of this, and I appreciate it very much. Having the honor to have you guys on the show.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Well, I told you, you'd like these guys. They're pretty awesome. I love their organization. I love their passion for helping everyone be included in the fan community. And I really loved Static Jones's answer to the question of how Star Wars brings hope to him, and how Obi-Wan Kenobi just was there. That character was there for him in a moment when he really needed it. It was awesome. So very, very cool. Again, I know this was an unusual episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you share it. I hope you check out BlerdOver. Check out them on all of the social media channels. Check out their podcast and subscribe to it. While you're doing that, if you haven't subscribed to Tatooine Sons of Pop Culture podcast, please do that. We will have another episode come out on Tuesday. I'm not sure if it's going to be a bonus episode or if we're just going to take what we normally would have done today and throw that up on for a Tuesday episode. We'll see. As I mentioned at the opening to the podcast, you really never know what life's going to throw at you. And so we'll just take it day by day right now. Thank you for your prayers for my mom and my family as we are going through this journey with her surgery and recovery. And we really do appreciate having you guys in our corner supporting us throughout this. Thank you so much for listening to Tatooine Sons, a pop culture podcast. And again, if you did have a good time listening to this, please share it with your friends on social media. Send some texts out letting them know about this show. If you have anyone that would really resonate and connect with what's going on with BlerdOver, please send this to them as well so that they can learn about that organization. Of course, the show is just a little bit of what we do here at Tatooine Sons, so make sure you're liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter and Instagram. You can keep up to date with everything else going on with the show at TatooineSons.com. And then please don't forget to follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss our next episode, whatever it looks like or sounds like, and whenever it comes out. Remember to drop us a review at podchaser.com/TatooineSons. And when you do that, we are going to make a donation in your honor to one child that will help a child living in extreme poverty. All right. I think that's going to do it for today's unusual episode. Thank you so much. I think there's only one thing left to say.
May the force be with you always.
This party's over.
I like that Wookiee.
Don't get technical with me.
Join, please.